new brand as ever. She's previously hinted she might never restock her jam because the first batch sold out within 45 minutes. Now, the first batch was, 60?
It was supposed to be. Meghan Markle, proud culinary moment. Her sleek as ever brand of raspberry spread, carefully branded for the wellness elite, was finally gracing the tables of a popular upscale eatery in Los Angeles. But in one searing moment, that dream collapsed under the weight of world-famous chef Gordon Ramsay's furious palate. As the celebrity chef took a bite of a scone layered with Meghan's prized raspberry jam, the entire restaurant fell silent. Ramsay pushed the plate away, spat out the spread, and boomed.
But stepping back from a brand that you've only just launched suggests to me it's not been as successful as someone might have hoped. Let's talk to royal biographer of her husband, Prince Harry, Angela Levin.
Okay. This isn't food, it's a crime to eat fruit that isn't good enough for a dog to eat. The comment that is currently going around internet at breakneck speed is the latest public embarrassment for Meghan, whose post-royal business activities are still getting mocked. Meghan had thought that her raspberry spread would mark a new beginning, moving away from the royal fallout that had caused so much trouble and into the wellness lifestyle realm, with pastel labels and buzzwords like organic farm to table and handcrafted. The jam was meant to be better than other high-end pantry goods.
Success, that she's already having to step back a bit. The reality is, this has been an absolute joke of a brand, hasn't it?
Absolutely. I completely agree with you. I was told by somebody they were only putting out 10 jars. So, of course, it would all go because I think she sold them to her friends.
But Ramsay, who is famous for his ability to spot gimmicks, didn't buy it. He said the texture was slimy, the taste was too processed, and the idea was just stupid. People at the table said that what he said wasn't just criticism, they were a harsh evaluation of someone's character. Ramsay saw through the brand's slick advertising and went straight for the throat. The scenario didn't take place in a private tasting room or at a closed event. It happened right in the middle of a busy dining room. People who saw it say Ramsay's reaction was quick and violent. He didn't even eat it. He added that one attendee mumbled that it tasted like cough syrup and toxins mixed together.
They were all thought she sent it to them. They had no choice.
Yeah. Well, whatever way it was. So it's been a disaster. And one of the disasters was the packing, which she spent day after day, so she said, poor thing, packing it up the right way and the right colour. And it's cost an absolute fortune. So the whole thing has been a disaster.
Others described Ramsay's face turning red with fury as he ranted about the quality. Several diners had already been served Meghan's jam on their scones, and many quietly pushed their plates away after hearing Ramsay's review. One guest even asked the waiter if the dish could be replaced. That kind of embarrassment doesn't just bruise a brand, it obliterates it. It didn't take long for the internet to catch fire. A clip of Ramsay's jam tirade leaked on social media, gaining over 2 million views within hours. X, formerly Twitter, was ablaze with commentary. Gordon Ramsay just did what we've all wanted to do, call out Meghan Markle, overpriced nonsense. One user posted, another added, finally someone with real taste is speaking the truth. Memes erupted hashtags like #Jamgate.
That's been a spectacular success, hasn't it? And I know there are quite a lot, I certainly do, but they did a lot of very nice tarts that were sold in my local supermarket. They're absolutely top notch. But there was some talk that she apparently was the view, I mean, it's got some podcast that's already finished where it's sort of like women found, I mean, I don't bother learning the names of these things because they never last that long.
But #DogBreakfast and #Ramsay vs. Meghan started to get a lot of attention. What was supposed to be a modest launch for Meghan's high-end products soon turned into a PR nightmare that reached around the world. According to one insider, Meghan's team was in a panic behind the scenes. They say her PR crew called the restaurant within minutes of the incident and demanded that the jam be taken off the menu and that no public statements be made. But the harm had already done. The restaurant quietly took the stuff away, and sources indicate they don't plan to keep working together. Meghan's camp has said that the jam may have been stored incorrectly, but chefs who are close to the incident think that's a weak explanation. You can't blame the fridge for terrible taste. One critic wrote that Meghan's crew rushing to cover up the incident simply made it seem more real and more damaging. Food critics and those who work in the food industry entered the conversation just hours after the viral explosion, and the general agreement wasn't good. Famous chef Thomas Keller is said to have joked in private, "If she's selling that as premium, we should all start bottling ketchup." The jam mess with Meghan started up again. The bigger concern is whether she is really adding value or just putting her name on things and hope the Markle mystique will sell them. Critics say that her recurrent failures, such as her podcasts, Netflix shows that didn't do well, and her business that isn't going anywhere, show a worrying trend. She has a lot of surface-level sparkle but little substance underneath. Ramsay's harsh response may have been the first public sign of trouble, but more and more others are joining in. This incident is especially bad for Meghan because it goes against the clean, wellness-focused, plant-based image she's been building since she left the royal family. Brand was intended to stand for honesty and care, but when a world-famous chef like Ramsay calls her product fake and arrogant, it doesn't only ruin the jam, it also ruins the brand's whole image. If Meghan can't even make a simple fruit spread, how can people believe anything else she puts her name on? That question is now spreading faster than any jam ever could. Several people who know the royal family well said that Ramsay's rage immediately spread to Pala's ears and made Meghan's former in-laws laugh. They believe it's karma. One insider told
to share it or buy part of it because I didn't think it was any good. So that's why they're not doing it.
They didn't want to be associated with the brand. She said, but didn't she reckon that she, apparently friends are saying, she expected to, wants to become a billionaire. She wants to make serious money and, and be this successful entrepreneur.
But after all the trouble she caused at work, watching Ramsay burn her jam felt like poetic justice. Royal commentators from Buckingham Palace say that the timing couldn't be worse since Meghan had been trying to make up with people through quiet diplomacy. Now she's the punchline again, instead of a nice comeback. Meghan's team was wrong if they thought they could get a public apology or retraction. Ramsay, who is known for doubling down,
appalling, and it was about 2 sentences on each page. Let me read you the next thing. Okay. However, she might really move on and explore the category of fashion on a later date. I think it is an interesting place for me.
When reporters questioned him if he regretted what he said no, I'd rather eat out of a trash can than touch that jam again. He then said that food prepared by famous people had to match actual standards and not merely be wrapped in illusion. His words hit home and reminded everyone that there is no room for privilege or fakes in Ramsay's kitchen. With Ramsay's takedown making headlines, Meghan's crew is in a panic. Do they change their name, defend?
I don't know what to call myself. I think it speaks to this chapter many of us find ourselves in, where none of us are one note. But I believe the notes I'm playing are part of the same song. I mean,
oh my God, Is
it real or a deserted ship? Early indications say that stockists are quietly thinking about not stocking as many products as they used to. Altogether, Meghan thought her product would lead to food partnerships and even cookbooks, but now she is in a full-blown credibility issue. Just like her acting career, her time as a princess, and her attempts at podcasting, this jam disaster could be regarded as yet another failed reinvention, and maybe the worst thing is that a tabloid didn't find it out.
She actually sold candles scented like her vagina. For God's sake, the woman has made fortune. Not that she needed to, she is a multimillionaire, but she's made an absolute fortune doing this lifestyle brand and everything. And obviously Meghan thought she could do that.
Yeah, but
one bite from a top chef who told the world what it didn't want to hear. The Meghan Markle brand just doesn't taste real. Like that, with one taste and one very honest evaluation. Empire has had its sharpest reality check yet, as always, Meghan Markle. In a world where image often comes before honesty, Ramsay reminded us all that taste, truth, and talent still count. No PR team, no carefully planned Instagram post, and no soft-focused lifestyle ad will make the sting of his words unfit for a dog's breakfast go away. Meghan might keep trying to remake herself, but this time,
or in a beekeeper's suit and things like that. And she clearly wants privacy for her family, obviously, unless she doesn't want privacy for her family when she wants to make money. That hasn't...
Trevor Engelson didn't just expose a personal side of Meghan Markle the public hadn't seen before. He inadvertently revealed something far more damaging, her inability to escape the pattern of overpromising, under-delivering, and rewriting reality when things go wrong. And now, in what many are calling a stunning collision between celebrity branding and real-world scrutiny, Meghan's latest business move, once hyped as her next great triumph, has turned into yet another PR disaster. This time, it wasn't Netflix, it wasn't even a tell-all memoir or late-night roast, it was jam. Meghan had high hopes for her American Riviera Orchard brand, pushing it hard across social media, lifestyle blogs, and influencer circles. The messaging was clear. This wasn't just about honey or preserves. It was about a new chapter, a return to simplicity, a fresh start wrapped in organic buzzwords, minimalist packaging, and that signature California aesthetic she's tried so hard to sell. But then came the backlash, not from critics who already doubted her, but from an unexpected force, culinary royalty itself. Chefs, food journalists, and artisanal producers began tasting her products, and their reactions were anything but kind. What followed was brutal honesty masked as food reviews, overpriced, basic ingredients with a luxury label, more brand than flavor. And worse, one prominent British chef reportedly compared her raspberry spread to jam made by someone who's never been near a kitchen. The internet devoured it like a hot take on toast. Meghan's response? Classic. She went silent, or at least as silent as someone can while still running a multi-million-dollar brand. Her team scrambled, issuing quiet damage control, deleting negative comments, and allegedly purchasing large quantities of their own product to create false demand. But none of it worked, because once you've been roasted not just by comedians, not just by former allies, but by people who know how to judge quality by taste, you're not just losing relevance, you're losing legitimacy. Because let's be honest, this wasn't just about bad jam, it was about the crumbling of a brand built on illusion. A brand that assumed fame alone could sell product, that believed curated aesthetics could replace authenticity, that thought throwing the word organic on a jar would somehow erase years of legal battles, emotional storytelling, and failed documentaries. She believed this would be different, that food was safe ground, that honey and fruit preserves would finally give her a win outside the noise of politics and royal drama. But even in the world of spreads and candles, she couldn't escape the truth. Because what Trevor Engelson has exposed, both in his silence over the years and his recent revelations, is not just about betrayal or broken trust. It's about a woman who has spent her life strategically reinventing herself, always chasing the next spotlight, always redefining the narrative when the last one started to slip. And now, with her latest image play turning into a punchline, the cracks are showing again. Her charm isn't enough, her name isn't golden, and her legacy, it's starting to look like a product line no one actually wants. So yes, Meghan may have entered the food space thinking she'd found her next great act, but instead she walked straight into a kitchen where the heat is real and the judgment is unfiltered.
He did his own speeches and everything, but now he has to obey Meghan. He absolutely has to.
Do you really think it's like this? I don't like it when we always blame,
Meghan Markle may have believed that slapping her name and her royal association on a jar of raspberry jam would be enough to sell it. She leaned into the branding, the curated lifestyle aesthetic, and the idea that her personal story alone could carry a product from shelf to success. But what she forgot, what she seems to keep forgetting, is that in the culinary world, fame doesn't flavor, quality does. And when Gordon Ramsay took one bite of American Riviera Orchard's signature spread, the illusion cracked wide open. He didn't just critique the jam, he dismantled it. With his trademark intensity and zero sugarcoating, pun very much intended, he called it out for what it was, pretentious, overhyped, and utterly lacking in substance. In his own words, this is a disgrace to food. It wasn't just a punchline, it was a public execution of Meghan's latest attempt at relevance, one that tried to hide behind artisanal packaging, organic buzzwords, and that all too familiar royal-linked marketing angle. But once the lid came off, literally and figuratively, it became clear this wasn't about food anymore, it was about credibility. Because in that moment, Meghan wasn't a duchess, she wasn't a brand founder or a media figure with a Netflix deal gone bad. She was simply another celebrity trying to sell an image instead of a product and failing so spectacularly that even the internet couldn't look away. And that's the deeper issue here. This isn't just about jam, it's about a pattern. Meghan has spent years reshaping herself, actress, royal, victim advocate, podcast host, now food entrepreneur, but every reinvention collapses under pressure. Every new venture starts with hype and ends with hesitation. And every time, the same problem emerges: style over substance, branding over quality, and a desperate need to stay relevant by any means necessary. Gordon Ramsay didn't just reject her product, he exposed the entire playbook. With one bite, he stripped away the glossy packaging, the influencer endorsements, and the carefully crafted narrative of authenticity, proving that you can't polish a product with Instagram captions alone. If it doesn't taste good, if it doesn't stand up to scrutiny, it won't survive, and neither will the image behind it. The fallout goes far beyond the jam aisle. This isn't just a failed product launch. It's a blow to reputation, a hit to trust, and a warning shot across the bow of celebrity entrepreneurship. Because if the public is starting to question your integrity not through scandal or legal drama, but through something as simple as a poorly made preserve, then the foundation of your brand is already unstable. Meghan can launch 100 products, she can give 1,000 interviews, she can reframe her story a million different ways, but as long as people are tasting the truth, they'll always spit it out. Drop your thoughts below. Is this the final crack in Meghan's credibility, or just another missed opportunity? If you found this breakdown honest, sharp, and worth your time, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more fearless commentary on power, perception, and the figures who keep losing both. Thanks for watching.